Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and welcome to another episode of Newsround for Anfield Index. It's Monday, the 21st of April. It's the bank holiday, so hopefully you're enjoying maybe a layer, maybe you're watching this a bit later, who knows. But one more win. That is all it now takes for Liverpool to be Premier League champions, to win the title for a 20th time. It was just epic. But we've got to get into it. We've got to get into what's coming up for the week. I'm your normal host, Dave Davis, coming to you from a pretty gloomy Edinburgh. But you can't be gloomy at the moment because we start News Round as ever asking you, how are we? And the answer should be, after yesterday, brilliant. Football is an outcome-based sport, and the outcome was brilliant. Liverpool won against Leicester. Liverpool sent Leicester down. That is absolutely brilliant. Bye-bye to the Tories. Hopefully, we never see them again in the Premier League. That would be epic. And look at this thing of beauty on the screen. Liverpool on 79 points, Arsenal on 66. Funny that, tracking at 2 all season, aren't they? 13 points clear, 5 to play. And the outcome was brilliant yesterday. The manner, and a massive shout out to the travelling cop, because Leicester support was absolutely horrendous, wasn't it? The Tories didn't believe for 1 second they were going to win that, but you could hear that travelling cop from minute one. And the let-off they got when that winner went in was epic. You could see it, you could hear it. You were just jealous you weren't there like me. Simple as that. You also saw at the end when the players came over, the songs, everything. Massively jealous I wasn't in that mix. And what a day for them. You always, probably like me, saw the scenes outside of the stadium afterwards as well, bouncing as Leicester fans just trotted along home, back to plan for the likes of Rotherham away or whatever they do in that league, etc. So, yeah, so good. We should be feeling it. And maybe in a weird way, it is an outcome-based sport for football, but just the way it all happened was brilliant because, let's be honest, on another day, on what should have really been this day, when you look at the stats, we battered him. 10 shots on target, 28 shots on goal. The woodwork was rattled 5 times in that game. How the hell we hadn't scored by then was just down to a bit of luck probably, but bit misfortune, bit of misfiring, you'd argue, as well. But it should have been home and hose, shouldn't it? Mo Salah hits the woodwork alone 3 times, Jota a couple of times, Gakpo, Jota. They should all have scored. It should have been about 5 or 6-0. That's what the stats tell you. And yet you don't really care, do you? Because the fact it is that manner, the 76th minute, the way it happens, the barrage, it just makes it a little bit sweeter. And I don't know why, but it just does. And I had mates messaging me during the game, and I was messaging them going, some saying, no, it's a bit boring. It's a bit like not. We controlled it. We dominated it. And sometimes there's a way to win football games that are the best. And that was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. We are bouncing into this week. And as we say, one more win. That game against Spurs on Sunday. The great thing about that game now is, A, it's Spurs, and they're Spursy. B, it's Spurs, and they've got the Europa League semi-final first leg about 4 or 5 days after this game. So they're already planning on sending a weakened team. You know, their minds are already elsewhere. Of course they are. And C, Andrew's a Liverpool fan. So he's going to be probably bouncing at the end with a wry smile, even though we'll hide it. And D, Spurs will do anything to stop Arsenal winning the league. Spurs fans will do anything to say they played a part in us winning the league. So it's just going to be party carnival time at Anfield on Sunday. In fact, for the coming week, like me, for many of you, you're already planning it, aren't you? I'm already thinking, what time do I get down there? Because you want to welcome the coach in. You've seen all the things from 2:30, the coach will be welcomed in, get in place, clear the roads, all that. So we're thinking that. You're also thinking, what about after the game? How good's that going to be? Are we staying? Are we going Matthew Street in town? All those plans, all of us are making for Sunday are incredible. And even jumping further ahead, I've already booked Monday off a week today. Because you've got to make sure, because you're going to be absolutely rotten, aren't you? You're going to be in no state whatsoever. You are already planning for how good it is going to be next Sunday. It's just going to be happiness, tears, emotions, everything you could possibly envisage. We just need a couple of people to do their job. And one of those are Crystal Palace. Please, Crystal Palace, capitulate like you've been doing recently. Like, come on, Crystal Palace, when I look at you, where are you? Those recent games, I mean, look at those losses. Conceded 5 at the Etihad, conceded 5 at Newcastle. That is what we are looking for when you go to the Etihad on Wednesday night. Do not for 1 second let us down. Make sure you let Arsenal beat you comfortably. So it's all on that Spurs game. That's what we want. This is the opposite of 1920. Do you remember when you watched that Chelsea City game? You were like, come on, Chelsea, come on, just because of everything that had happened. No, we actually want Arsenal to win. More importantly, we want Crystal Palace to capitulate just to give us that perfect moment on Sunday. But we had an incredible moment, didn't we? And this one is important to see. Absolutely just a sheer moment of happiness. And the top comes off and that reaction, and it prompts people all of a sudden to be, hold on, is he? And that goes on top of the things, the Saturday, I can't believe I'm saying this, the Saturday tour guide incident, didn't it? You were thinking, or a few of you were thinking, hold on. And then you think back to some of his celebrations during the season. It's on screen there, like the top off against Leicester, but the comments in the air against West Ham, and you just start to wonder with a few of the things that are suggested and like the feelings that some are getting. Is he? Is he maybe? But then it comes crashing back down to earth, let's be honest, because if you saw his interview afterwards, he's going. The whole thing about, I don't really want to talk about it. Well, Salah, Virgil have been quite vocal, haven't they? He's going. I'd love to say he wasn't, but he's going. And in fact, people are now starting to talk about it in different terms. I'm sure you saw the Jamie Carragher, we can't play because the clip, because Sky get all antsy about that. But as Carragher said, if Trent hasn't committed to the manager for next season, he shouldn't be starting games. Liverpool are not here as a football club to give someone a send-off. That split the fan base a little bit when you see the socials, people saying like, yeah, if he's not staying, like Conor Bradley, give him a run, etc. Like, get him ready as much as possible. Yeah, all sorts of names that we could call Trent, blah, 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 if that's the case. Others saying, well, we needed him yesterday. You play your strongest team to the end. And in fact, when you talk about our team right now, they're on 79 points. They can actually get to 93, which is a huge total. So do that. Play the best team possible. There's a real mix on this. And you will see it how you see it. And I can make a case either way. Because I can make a case if they do think Conor Bradley's got the potential. Yeah, give him his head, give him a run, all that. I'm not sure he did brilliantly yesterday. think Mavididi got the better of him on a number of occasions, but that's just personal opinion. Maybe he does need a bit more time. Who knows? I can make a case for that. I could also make a case for play your best players till the end. Let's try and get 93 points. And, that's a big total to be in the 90s, isn't it? All this nonsense about the league's weaker, etc., etc. Let's just focus on us. That would be brilliant at the same time, wouldn't it? I am really split on that. And it's up to Arne Slot, really. And if anyone clocked Arne Slot post-match, all he wanted to talk about was Trent's brilliance, how well he's done, those moments. I've got to be honest, though, if anyone listened to it or saw it, it's well worth doing that. It almost felt a little bit like a eulogy for his career somewhat at Liverpool. But I think it's all done. Fabrizio Romano, and people will say, yes, Fabrizio Romano, you'll have your opinions as I say that name. But he referenced yesterday, didn't he, that the verbal agreement's pretty much there. It's as close to a here we go as you can get. So that comes into the mix at the same time. The most interesting thing about Trent for me, he's not told the club either way. The club are clear on that. He's not told us he's leaving. There's a silence. He's not talking about it, as he said. Well, he kind of did, though, didn't he? So I'm not talking about it, but he did talk about it, however you view that. When the league is won, I wonder how long before we hear something. Because we will hear something. The club are not making plans because he's not told them anything yet. But he needs to tell them something. But for me, I know people are tying up hope, which I always think I would love to believe into it. I really would, and lean into that whole feeling. But he's gone, people. He's gone. There's absolutely no way Trent is staying at Liverpool. You saw from his post-match interview the way he is. He is gone. And a few comments coming in. Morbeya saying, leave the Leicester fans alone yet. They're suffering enough. Absolutely not for 1 second. We've heard what those fans have chanted. Those Tory bastards are going straight back to the Championship. Those Tory bastards are worrying about going to Doncaster away or whatever it is. That stadium atmosphere yesterday from the home side was horrific. They were dominated, like on the pitch, by the travelling cop. Give them no sympathy whatsoever. It should just be a feel-good week for us. It really, really should. And in terms of AI content coming up for you, well, you've got all the Raw yesterday. I know it was Trev, Dave and Harry doing that. There was the Gag Tandem show with Jack afterwards. Well worth a watch, well worth a listen there. Even just coming up today, multiple shows for you. We've got Daily Red at 11. We've got Media Matters with David Lynch at midday. We've got the Transfer Show later on. I know Up have got their pod because they've got a few stats about, I won't give too much away, but game state and the way the season's gone. Very much it felt like some could argue an archetypal Slot performance there. Plenty to get you excited, plenty to cover you for this week. But people, when you look at that on the screen, it is a thing of beauty. Drink in all these minutes. Don't wish it away at all. Liverpool are 13 points clear at the top of the Premier League. There are 5 games left to go. Liverpool yesterday relegated Leicester. That is a thing of beauty too. One more win. Just one more win. Please, for the love of God, Crystal Palace, do your job on Wednesday. Capitulate so we can plan just how good this Sunday could be. And a super Sunday of epic proportions it would be. If that doesn't get you bouncing into Monday, if that doesn't get you excited, I really can't help you anymore. Reds everywhere. Honestly, enjoy your week. Absorb it all. Drink it all in. Inject every bit of content into your eyeballs you can possibly get. These are the days. It is that simple. And on Monday, the 21st of April, that was another news round for Anfield Index.